wild grapes. They don't grow quite like the ones in the store. What you want to watch for is that they are on green stems, not red stems or any other color stem. And although I didn't grab any with leaves, you want to look for the tendrils that are common to grape leaves so that you're sure that's what you have. I didn't get that many. I mean, it seems like a lot here now. But what I'm going to do is pull these off the stem, only the ripe ones, separating the non-ripe ones from the ripe ones. And we're going to put them in a pot with a little bit of water and boil them down. I mean, mash them. I mean, heat them up so I can mash them down. And then I'll see what the next step is. I'm not sure. So, of course, the first thing we're going to do is give these a good little bath. This is one of the books that I'm using to reference how to process these grapes. This guy is knowledgeable and has 3 good books on edible wild plants. I came back to get my grapes, and this guy was a little bit indignant at having been disturbed from his grapey nest. Oh well, you got to go. About to take him outside. So based on my research, what I'm going to do is take off any that are not ripe. So I'm just going to look at each bunch for unripe grapes, anything that looks decayed, that all dried up. Alright, I'm going to do that until I fill this pot up. One more note about wild grapes. When I eat them out in the wild, I don't chew them and swallow them. Like, I don't chew the seed. I just sort of crush them in my mouth and get the tasty juice. There isn't really a lot of flesh on these berries. But I don't want to crush the seeds because they're bitter. And I don't typically swallow the skin either. I just, sort of sunflower seed it out. You know what I mean? Like, also, grapes usually have about 2 or more seeds inside of them that are shaped like little teardrops. I guess there is another berry that I've never heard of before called a moon seed that has a crescent shaped, as in moon-shaped seed, one singular seed, and that is something you don't want to eat. I may stick a picture of it in here because I don't know what it looks like. I assume it looks like a grape. Isn't that pretty? This is my, speaking of grapes, isn't this gorgeous? I got this at the Great Lakes Herb Fair 1 year ago, and it was made by a local artist, and it is in the shape of a grape leaf, and it is a gorgeous spoon rest. So there we have our whole pot of cleaned grapes. I mean, the good thing about it is this is going to be strained. So if there are anything really is going to get strained out. The thing about getting into wild food is you do need to get used to a bug or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, maybe a snail. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of water to this. I'm going to heat it up just a little bit, and then I'm going to I don't have a food mill, which is okay. I mean, I could get one, but I'm trying not to be that person who's like, oh, I need a tool for everything. Although I do want a food mill. But I'm going to use a potato masher to release some of this juice. I don't know the technical name for it, but there is a substance in this grape juice that can be very irritating to your mouth and throat. And we are going to let this cool and sit until that settles to the bottom. So that is another reason not to eat these by the handful when you come across them in nature. I mean, if that was all we had, then of course that's what we're eating. But I'm just letting you know that if you get a sore throat or a sore mouth, that is why. I don't even handle them for a long time because from what I understand, it can even irritate your skin as well. So we're going to proceed. I'm going to put some water in here. I'm going to let these simmer for a little while and then press them with the potato masher. Okay, I let them simmer for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Wow, look at that. That really helped them get soft enough to break down. So now all I'm doing is mashing them with the tomato masher. Yep, tomato masher, because we all like mashed tomatoes. Mashing them. We're not mashing them hard enough to crush the seeds because we don't want those seeds. They're bitter. And this juice is going to be sour, but it's not going to be bitter. So look at that beautiful color. Let me see if I can get a metal spoon so you can see the color. Isn't that beautiful? I'll bet you this could be used as a dye also. I mean, I'm sure it can. We all know we get grape juice on the wrong thing, right? And it's a wrap. So now what we're going to do, look at that. It's so beautiful. We're going to let it cool. As much as I want to taste it right now, I know that wouldn't be a good idea. So we're going to let this cool until it's cool enough for me to strain. I'm going to pour it through a strainer. So now what we have here is just a regular sieve strainer over a big measuring cup. And I'm going to do a first strain of this juice here. Oh, it smells so good. I mean, it just smells like the grapiest of the grapiest. What is that? Ah! Oh, I scared Riley. I made him feel like he needed to come protect me. It's all right, Riley. It's just grapes. So I'm going to rinse this out, and then I'm going to do a second strain through my finer strainer. Yeah, just pressing those a little bit. At first I wasn't going to, but there's a lot of juice still in there. Okay, so I pressed it out a little bit and pretty much stopped dripping. We're just going to put this in the compost here so it can return to the earth. Okay, so we got about 4 cups, 1 quart. This is a 1 quart jar. So I'm going to pour it through my tea strainer. Now tomorrow, after this sits for 24 hours, I'm going to see if I feel like it needs to be strained yet again through a cheesecloth. This will be probably good enough because everything was pretty big. Like it was seeds and it was stems. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, this color is amazing. Now what I'm gonna do, let's see what came out. Oh, yeah, there is some sediment in here because it's not straining all the way through. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I see a little bit of fruit pulp there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this in the fridge now overnight to give a chance for any other sediment to collect at the bottom. We really want that sediment which has the irritating crystals. They're kind of like really sharp shaped crystals. That's why they irritate your lips and throat. I think it's called tartaric acid. If that's not correct, I'll put the right name in there somewhere. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator overnight, and then we'll see if we get the layer of sediment at the bottom, and then we'll make us a nice concentrated grape syrup juice, grape juice concentrate syrup out of the rest. Okay, so now we're back to this grape juice. I have poured it out of this jar carefully to where I didn't get the about this much of the bottom I didn't use, so I would hopefully not pour the sludge in there. Now I have this jar I'm going to pour it in. I have added about 2 cups of sugar to make it into a nice syrup. This is organic sugar I added to it. And it tastes really good. I'm going to pour it up, and then we'll have like a concentrated drink syrup. Lovely. Poured a little too much. So I had enough for 2 bottles. One smaller, I think it's probably, I don't know, 8 ounce and 16 ounce, I guess. I don't know. Look at that. Yay! It's delicious. It's really good. I'm going to buy some sparkling water to mix in with it. And we will try having us a little sparkling grape juice.